Man, I'm sorry, but the loose cannon Walt Clyde, man, I gotta almost, I don't want to say I want to stop, watching his channel. Everyone has good and bad takes sometime, but Karrion Kross is gone. Him coming back as Killer Kross, they wouldn't have moved him to the alumni section. Thinking that this is a work. We know his contract was expired, blah, blah, blah. Moving him to the alumni section, if he was coming back, is stupid. Unless he's moved out of that alumni section and they made some agreement or something, I don't see him coming back. I mean, Triple H does not like people that look like Karrion Kross or Drew McIntyre. He doesn't want this, I wouldn't even say bodybuilder type, physique type person. I mean, even Austin Theory in great shape. Like, they don't want that. Unless you're Jade, Bianca, or someone like that. He doesn't want that. He wants to promote your Jey Usos, your Sami Zayns, your Kevin Owenses. Even Cody Rhodes isn't in the best shape of his life. And I wouldn't even say the best shape of his life because, put Cody Rhodes up against, the average person, he's in great shape. Now, wrestling shape from, the 70s to the early 2000s, that wouldn't have cut it. That's why I think LA Knight isn't getting a push he's getting, because LA Knight is in peak physique shape. The Street Profits, Montez Ford is in peak physique shape. And they don't want to push him. But they'll push, Uncle Howdy and them now. But, I mean, if you really think about it, Triple H doesn't like your Drew McIntyre LA Knights. They don't want that physique. Look at the biggest push Jacob Fatu is getting, and you can call him Jacob Fat too. So, but the Samoans sort of get a pass because that's kind of, what their gimmick has been since Rikishi. It's just crazy to think, you wouldn't put LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul is only at the top because he's a viral sensation. I don't know what it is with Triple H. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still thinking Triple H and them is trying to ruin wrestling and either fool the Saudis into buying a trash product for billions of dollars, or he's going to try to get Vince McMahon to buy it back, which Vince McMahon is a shareholder in TKO. People thought Vince was gone, but I mean, you do have some say so and can vote on stuff when you own shares in that company. I mean, I own shares in certain pharmaceutical companies, and I get letters to, attend meetings virtually and listen to what they say and vote on stuff, which is, I never do that because I don't care. But, Vince isn't in creative, and Vince, you would think Triple H would talk to Vince and say, hey, Vince, what would you do like this? And bring it back to the team. Nope. Triple H is trying to ruin wrestling. Honestly, I think Triple H doesn't want anyone to have sort of a better legacy than he did in the WWE. That's why he isn't building up new talents in their, 20s to have them mega stars in their 30s. Trick Williams is 30 something. by the time he comes to the main roster, he's only going to have like 7 or 8 years left in the company. You know, you will never be better than Triple H, The Rock, you know, Stone Cold. You'll never get that chance because you're not being pushed in your 20s. You know, Bron Breakker, I don't see Bron Breakker actually being in the company longer than 5 years because he's not going to be built up to this Brock Lesnar monster figure. You know, Bron Breakker isn't a threat. Bron Breakker is probably going to have a career like Carlito, to be honest. You know, unless he goes to the indies and become a megastar and then come back and, you know, kind of be like Cody Rhodes, WWE isn't going to do it for him. You know, the only big star WWE cares about right now is Rhea Ripley. And it's a shame. Seth Rollins, you had a great career, but, you know, you're the Triple H of now, pretty much. That's pretty much what you are, the Triple H of now. And that's the most you're going to get. Honestly, Seth Rollins is leaving in a few years as well, so take that. But, yeah, Triple H, you know, he doesn't care about people that have great physiques. Honestly, he doesn't care. So, take that as you will. Peace. You know, I really don't really want to review SmackDown, but I may make a review of SmackDown, but, you know, I'm just about to give my thoughts on WrestleMania 43. They are already making plans for WrestleMania 43. And guess where it's going to be? Saudi Arabia officially confirmed as the host of WrestleMania 43. Triple H's special announcement revealed. Officially confirming Saudi Arabia as the WrestleMania 43 location. You know, I'm actually fine and not fine with this. You know, I don't care really where WrestleMania is going to be at. But one, y'all are going back to Las Vegas after you did it last year in Las Vegas. Then you announced that WrestleMania 42 was going to be in New Orleans in the Superdome. And then you pulled that away from us. Not only did you have the final boss, The Rock, was at the New Orleans Arena, got the biggest pop of the year. And you took that away from The Rock. You had Lil Wayne's The Block Is Hot music mixed with The Rock's music. I mean, that was an epic moment. Best mix. You know, y'all had a great DJ that did it or whatever. Y'all stripped that. Everyone in Louisiana and down south was excited. Y'all knew y'all could not pack a 90,000 seat Superdome twice in a row, and y'all went back to Vegas. Now, WrestleMania ain't been down here in a while, so it would have sold out probably. You know, but at the same time, nobody here is buying 40 grand tickets. I'm sorry. You know, I don't know. But y'all scrub that, go back to Vegas, and now 43 is going to be in Saudi Arabia. I don't have a problem that it's in Saudi Arabia. I have a problem that y'all are pushing the overseas Saudi Arabia stuff so much. Now, I mean, how much is Saudi actually paying y'all? You know, the Saudis are brainwashed, and they're going to realize, man, this WWE stuff sucks. What's going to happen is Saudi is probably going to end up buying WWE and completely changing it. That's why I say the Vince McMahon era is gone. The TKO era is here. You know, this isn't even the Paul Levesque era. Paul Levesque is a sellout and sucks. And I mean, I would just put the Paul Levesque era under the TKO era. And like I said, John Cena could have took that belt and y'all could have made a TKO championship, because that would have aligned what's going on right now. You know, don't compare this bull crap to past WWE stuff under Vince McMahon. This new WWE sucks. And the sad part is they have great wrestlers besides Jey Uso. You know, Jey Uso isn't a great wrestler. Really, none of the Samoans besides Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu are actually good wrestlers. William Regal will beat Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso any day. He'll beat Jacob Fatu, you know, in just in-ring ability. Like, he'll make him look stupid. Come on now, William Regal made Goldberg look stupid. You know, this is just stupid. You know, you want to give Money in the Bank to New Orleans. I mean, man, I think people are fed up. AEW has a chance to become very big and take this audience, but AEW is starting to follow in the footsteps of WWE, raising their ticket prices. But, you know, I'm just sick of it. I'm really sick of the price gouging. I mean, these Saudi Arabia tickets about to be ridiculous, and it's not for us. It's not for us. You know, this Saudi Arabia WrestleMania isn't for us. You know, I thought Crown Jewel was always going to be this Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, but I mean, WWE, depending on how much money they make with this WrestleMania 43, WrestleMania might forever be in Saudi Arabia. You know, we love the World Collide stuff, but this isn't that, you know. I mean, I'm lost for words that they're already announcing WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. I mean, how much money are the Saudis giving them? And y'all are doing business in Saudi Arabia. Y'all know what goes on in Saudi Arabia. The WWE wrestlers don't like Saudi Arabia. Some of them don't like it. And this is what's best for business, I guess. The WWE core fan base is gone. That family fan base, they might still watch it sometimes, but they will not attend live events anymore. You know, WWE has become premium, but it's for premium shit events. You know, premium shit live events. And now you want $30 from everybody to watch these premium shit live events. I mean, you have to be a brain dead nincompoop to continue on. I mean, watching Raw and watching SmackDown is like, man, I'm watching brain rot. You know, it's man, I don't even sit down and really watch this like talking about. I try to watch, you know, people like Julia that's kind of world renowned. You know, I want to see the Romans, but want to see the Codys, but it's just not that it factor. You know, I'm still watching the Rock stuff from 1998 to 2003 because it's memorable. No one here is cutting memorable promos that we're going to go back and watch. I mean, it's like WWE is just there to try to keep your attention for 3 hours when really you could have been working on anything, some chores, cutting grass, doing something, because, man, you really could just watch the highlights on YouTube and you have everything you need. But that's all I gotta say right there. I'm happy that I don't mind them getting a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia one time, but what does this lead to down the road? That's what I'm afraid of. But other than that, like, comment, and subscribe. Put your thoughts in that comment section.